This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
All right, hello, welcome to another edition of C2C Rankem, brought to you by Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I'm the host, Big B, alongside my normal host, halfway across the world, the Primus, Tim Hendricks. How you doing, buddy?
Wait, your normal host? You have an abnormal host? Somebody that doesn't host right along with me? I'm good. We've had, the world has had some shocking news the last couple of days, 3 days. We lose Toby Keith this last night. You were nice enough to break that news to me.
Well, my wife was nice enough to break that to me in a text as I was waking up this morning. So.
And then Carl Weathers. That was a good kick in the face too. I wasn't expecting that. And the funny thing is, he did. Was it Toby Keith could have touched us on two shows because he played football with the San Diego Chargers. So there would be a nice little morning tailgate shout out, and and the entertainment hour takes care of for both the other two. So kind of sucks.
Yeah. So today, ironically, we're talking music today. We got some list here for a few singers, a group. What if concert, if fictional, where we would go with fictional bands or singers to see them perform, and then we will end the show with a Toby Keith top. So everybody watching, please raise your solo cups for Toby Keith today. I know cancer's the B word, and but that definitely was a big shock this morning. So rest in peace, Toby Keith there. So with that being said, let's get into our topics. So we got two male singers, two female singers, one group, and then of course Toby Keith in our fun little category at the end. So with that being said, let's start off with Madonna. So, girl, the 80s. She's had a few bangers. I'm not, big on her music now, but definitely back in the day. So, I'm guessing we're gonna have three.
Three's not bad. She was definitely one of those. She was definitely an icon in the 80s. If you became a superstar in the pop genre, one name always comes into mind when I think of Madonna, and it's always Lady Gaga. They seem to follow in the same footpaths, but I think Lady Gaga's got her head on a little more screwed straight than I think Madonna did during the 80s. But I think we got three. I think three's a good possibility. But then we could have did 10. We could have did 10 songs just on Madonna at this point.
Honestly, there's quite a few we could have done, just 10 songs on, and we probably still would not hit half of them. So, all right, well, kick it off.
I didn't listen to when she started major in music in the 80s. I wasn't listening to too much bubblegum pop. I didn't listen to a lot of that stuff. I was listening to country. But this song always seemed like it showed up, and I always listened to it, and it seemed like it was one of her big songs in the 80s. My number 5 is Material Girl.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the big songs in the 80s. It was so big that we're going to kick it off right away. At number 5, you sniped me right there, Material Girl. Definitely was one of those songs that like it popped up in a couple of musics, or movies, even God, I want to say just in the recent movie too, it kind of popped up in a saying, so yeah. So all right, well, Randy Cox is on. Hey guys, I have my playlist on Spotify for Toby Keith all day. Yep. Yeah, definitely a shocking story this morning. Must be one of Randy Cox. One of the people that Randy Cox likes says if you watch him on Between the Ropes at Entertainment Hour, he doesn't like too many of the normal stuff. So, with that being said, let's go into number 4 there, Tim.
My number 4, and the funny thing is, I watched. If you ever get a chance to watch, there's a documentary. It's kind of a joking documentary about Weird Al Yankovic.
Okay.
And it's funny because Weird Al Yankovic is being played by Daniel Radcliffe, which is Harry Potter.
Yep.
Which already to me I think is funny, brilliant, and just
I've not seen it yet. Is that on Netflix? You said?
I think it was on Netflix. I can't remember.
Okay.
Because I got it in the improper channels. I think it might have been on Netflix though. I don't want to steer you in the wrong direction. But the funny thing is Madonna's character shows up and wants to have Weird Al parody one of her songs. We know that's not what happens with Weird Al, but when Weird Al is writing the movie about himself, you kind of take some liberties with it. And I was lucky enough to see Weird Al and his parody of her song, which was Like a Surgeon. And he said, according to the documentary, it was her idea to what song he should parody, and it would be an amazing thing. And the funny thing is, it was always it was hilarious because he goes in and says that Madonna is trying to steal his copyrightness for Like a Surgeon, and say that he was suing her for it. And they have some kind of torrid love affair, which, of course, if you know, Madonna at the time was with Sean Penn. But the song that he parodies with Like a Surgeon is Like a Virgin.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Weird Al, from other documentaries, he's one that seems like he puts it out there and then goes and asks for permission, I guess. It seems like in some cases, but my number 4, a song I know I haven't heard too much of, but for some reason, looking over a list, this one jumped out at me right away outside of the other ones, but Ray of Light jumped out at me for number 4. So
I remember that one. That
So you're number 3.
Wow. I'm looking at Randy Cox's list and I'm going, I've got one of those.
All right. So I created for you Like a Virgin, Live and Tell, Open Heart. Okay. I mean, that's a typical Randy List comment that,
So basically, I
got one of those too. So that's a typical Randy Cox comment there.
I sniped Randy. Well, that's a new one for me. I've never sniped Dragon Viper, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
My number 3 song, if you actually listen to this song, it's mentally screwed up in the head. When you realize it, much like a Virgin, if you watch it and you listen to the song and you go, oh, that is a messed up chick there. And then you follow up her next song on the same album and you listen to that song and that's just as crazy. And when you realize it's messed up. And my number 3 is Papa Don't Preach.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. I did miss that one. For some reason that I couldn't think of the title, and I don't know why I didn't think of that one. But my number three, like you said, like a virgin, Weird Al did like a surgeon. So, but yeah, you sniped me again. So let's go to number two.
Number two, it's funny because I think somebody has sampled this in the last 2 years, which is weird that I actually get music from the United States and I hear it every once in a blue moon, and I heard it in a McDonald's, which is really strange. When the song is sampled, but it's amazing because I always thought before "Summertime" by Will Smith was like the song that kicked off the summer.
Nope.
But I always thought this song was the song that always kicked off the summer for us because it was an '80s song where Will Smith's was the summer song for the '90s. And every time I hear it, it's one of those that I absolutely love. It gets stuck in my head and it's one of those that just loops and loops and loops and doesn't leave. My number two is Holiday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I never caught that together with the 80s. And, I'll have to go back and listen to that, see what that was. My number two, I know the song. I know I probably listened to it quite a bit, being with the aunts that I've, grew up with. And my number two is Like a Prayer. So you're number one.
That was the video that pissed off the Catholic Church.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think Randy's ever heard Where We Met. And we met at a nightclub.
Yep.
In 91, I want to say.
No.
90, was it because it was
93-ish, 94-ish.
Before 93, because it was before I graduated high school.
92 then.
Yeah, 92. And you were a DJ. Yep. And I know you've played this song. And it's crazy because I think a lot of these songs that I've got on my lists have all been played. I don't think you've played from one of our other artists. I don't think you've ever played. You might not have ever played the other two artists. A couple.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
But to me, when I was thought of like going to a dance club and always going to these nightclubs, and one song from Madonna always stuck in my head, and it's basically named after a fashion magazine, which is absolutely crazy. And then it became the gay pride song. So yeah, my number one is Vogue.
Yeah, that's my number one too, was Vogue. I mean, like you said, I think that was probably one of the most. That's the only Madonna song I could think of I would have played that at that club. Yes, I did DJ up at Night Moods in a little teen club that we had up there. Just a little hangout spot. Nothing. Got to play pool. Got to play video games, dance. Just hang out. It was it was a really fun time. So, we got 3 off of that one. So let's move into a little country. As a matter of fact, 4 of our topics, if you count Toby Keith, is country topics. So we will get to hear Tim reminisce on some of these probably on a car ride on a trip or somewhere. So next one is Alan Jackson. And if you know my aunt, she likes to call him Alan Johnson a lot of times. So this one.
Okay, which aunt? Your Aunt Becky?
Terry.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you ask Terry what her favorite blonde country singer name guy is, and she'll say Alan Johnson, and then she'll be like, "Oh no, Jackson."
At least she's not a Tracy Lawrence fan. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Again, this one, definitely could have done 10, and we probably still wouldn't have got half of them right. But it's tough because I can see 3, 4.
I can see 2. 2, 3.
I'll go 3. I'll go 3.
Yeah, I'll go 3 with you. And considering we didn't think we were going to snipe anything, and we're already batting better than half the Oakland A's.
I thought it would be tough, but so I will do number 5. A song that just kind of gets you thinking. At least gets me thinking of the past. And that is "Remember When" by Alan Jackson. A little slow song and stuff like that. So you're number 5.
This is one of those first songs that I remember about Alan Jackson, and when you brought it up, I'm like, okay, I like Alan Jackson, so I can sit there and listen to Alan Jackson.
Yep.
With Alan Jackson, heck, I could do a list of all 4 of our country artists, and I could sit there and listen to them all day.
Yep.
But when I hear this song, and you've got a guy with this booming voice like Alan Jackson's got, and then he comes out with this song that's just. Especially the title, it just doesn't make sense with a guy with this. He's a tall guy too, which is really strange. And you get him to do this.
2'6'3",
2'6'3". But he's got that recognizable voice. But when I heard "Little Bitty," I thought, God, I'm like, this guy can play the whole game, and I love listening to Alan Jackson. Jackson's probably one of the best.
Yeah, no, Alan Jackson definitely is the greatest. Yeah, a little bitty is a good one. I like that. My number 4, just kind of hits me a little bit being a father and stuff and building memories and stuff. And the song is called "Drive." Going out there and driving and trying to be a racer, but building it with your kids. And then he talks about when his daughters did it too. So, yeah, my number 4 is "Drive." Your number 4.
My number 4. I'm probably going to start with your sniping at this point. 9/11 happened. I bet you everybody can. It's funny because the title can. It kind of is like, every generation has this question that comes up because of things that have happened, like Kennedy.
Yep.
Challenger, 9/11, and it kind of, and I think he brings, and I think if I remember right, in all 3 of the verses, he kind of brings it up, all 3 of them up too.
Yep.
And I honestly think it's a better song than Toby Keith's that came out around the same time.
Okay.
But my number 4 is "Where Were You?"
Yep. Oh, that definitely is a good one. My number 3, I want to say this came out early 90s. Probably I definitely played it at the club that me and Tim were talking about. And that is one, "Summertime Blues."
How did I not know that one? How did I miss that one? I know the song, I just don't remember it. All right, my number 3,
Yep.
and it's kind of, to me, I keep hearing this song, and it makes me think of all these and not just country artists, but any type of artists who are trying to make it big into the in music and having to play all these little clubs. And then I remember, and it's a perfect song to me when I think of stuff like that. I love this song. I hear it, and you kind of want to sing it every time you hear it. And that's "Chasing That Neon Rainbow."
Oh yeah, that definitely is a good one. Sorry about that. Phone was ringing. Didn't want to interrupt you. So my number 2,
Or not, it's not.
if I remember right, I think they kind of did these songs back to back with "Summertime Blues" and the next one. And I know he performed it on an episode of Home Improvement. Actually, I think now I think about it, I think it was "Summertime Blues" he performed on Home Improvement. But the number 2 song that when I think of Alan Jackson is "Chattahoochee."
Really? That's not your okay. All right. That's okay.
Which, yeah, okay.
Okay.
What's your number 2?
My number 2. And I had a couple friends in school that were into country music, and they for some reason they like to have they put it they kind of link this song with us because we listen to a lot of country music, and we absolutely loved country music, and we were the minority, and they always sat there and let us sit there and listen to the stuff. And I remember Gone Country, and I thought this song is a nice, amazing anthem. I think it was absolutely a beautiful song.
Yep. All right. So Gone Country. No, that's a good one too. Like we said, we had a lot to choose from. My number one, your number four. When I first heard that song, I think it was on an awards show, and Vince Gill was telling the story that Alan Jackson said he couldn't sleep after 9/11, woke up, wrote the song, and he performed it that night for the first time. That's Where Were You When the World Stopped Turning. I mean, that song gets me, again, just kind of just thinking of, like you said, different important moments in the world, no matter what it is. Every time I hear that, I just start thinking about stuff like that. You're number one.
Well, this will make you feel a whole lot better. We've got a motto here on C2C Rankem. Yeah, it's not C2C Rankem unless you're sniping. My number one is your number two.
Okay.
That's that song. Another anthem, the one that put Alan Jackson on the country map. It's tough to go away from Chattahoochee. I get Where Were You. I completely understand.
Yep.
It's on my list, so I understand it. But every time Alan Jackson names come up, Alan Johnson to at this point now, Chattahoochee is the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah. Yeah, so just in case you didn't see, Randy Cox, his top 5 songs: "Summertime Blues," "Someday," "Here in the Real World," "Midnight in Montgomery," and "I Don't Even Know Your Name." I do like the video for "I Didn't Know Your Name," because I think that's Jeff Foxworthy's in that video. I think it is, with the waitress. Yeah. So that's a good one. So. All right, so let's move back over to the ladies' side of things. One of the 2 most current Mickey Mouse Club members, I guess we could say, Christina Aguilera. So she was popular in the 80s or late 80s, early 90s, I think, with the Mickey Mouse Club, the new version.
Yeah, with her and Carrie Russell.
And Justin Timberlake and all those.
Yeah, it was like Carrie Russell, Justin Timberlake, Ryan Gosling. It was a list.
It was a good list. So this one, if we were to get all 5, I think this would be the one, because I don't think we really listened to much of her newer stuff. So
yeah, this would be the one. I really would be.
Yeah. So all right. So I say I'm gonna go 2, but I could see 3.
I can say 3, but I could probably see 4 at this point.
All right. Well, let's hit it off.
All right. So I'm gonna start off with an ensemble. I'm gonna start off. I was gonna watch Moulin Rouge anyway because I like those type of movies, and you put Ewan McGregor in there, and I heard the soundtrack before I saw the movie. You put Ewan McGregor in a movie, you put Nicole Kidman in the movie. My wife hates Nicole Kidman, but that's like I say, everybody's got opinions. Sometimes it's wrong. But I absolutely enjoyed. I love the movie, and this was a great remake too. I think the remake was actually, I can't remember who originally did it. For some reason, I want to keep going back to Kool and the Gang, but that's going to be wrong. My number 5 is Lady Marmalade.
Yeah, I don't know. I know who you're thinking of. I don't think it was Kool and the Gang. But my number 5, one of her first hits, that I know, kind of made me like her, just because her schoolgirl look that she had at the time. Come over, baby. So
I'm going to tell you right now, we're not getting 5.
I have kind of figured we were going to get 5 because I know there's a couple songs that were kind of iffy. So, all right, your number 4.
All right, my number 4. This is another one for some reason. It's not the reason. This is that corner turn, the corner turn where she wanted to get away from the whole Britney Spears and Mickey Mouse Club, and she ends up going and does this. She does this basically. It looked like something that was produced by Hustler for some reason. The video, but the song, I love the song. Don't get me wrong, song's great. The video could be a little bit. I sound like a guy who's going to have is going to have a 25-year-old daughter tomorrow. So that kind of weighs in on me. And my number 4 is Dirty.
All right. And then, by the way, Lady Marmalade original was Patti LaBelle.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Nothing like Kool in the Gang at all.
Yeah. So at number 4, another snipe. You got me with Dirty. Like you said, it was one of her songs that she kind of wanted to get away from the Mickey Mouse and Britney and comparison. So yeah. So yeah, you're number 3.
I'm onto it where I've actually sniped. I've sniped Randy. You sniped Randy at this point too.
Yeah. So Randy's top 5 is "I Turn to You," "Come On Over," "Dirty," "Genie in a Bottle," "Nobody Wants to Be Lonely." All right. I'm surprised Randy listens to Randy.
Randy listens. Yes, Randy listens to Randy. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he does listen to voices in his head. So, all right. So you're number 3.
I heard this song after it was like her second big. To me, I think is her second biggest hit. Before she made that turn with Dirty, and I like this song. I never understood why I like this song. I like it. It's a catchy song. My number 3 is "What a Girl Wants."
Tim, I think you're starting to somehow look at my list over here. I don't know how, but my number 3 is "What a Girl Wants." I don't get it. Yeah. So all right.
Wait until you see my number 2 at this point. Watch.
All right, number 2. Let's go.
Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat, folks.
All right.
My number 2. This became to me. I think this is her most pure song. A lot of people took this as an anthem. I think this was an amazing song. I think it really showed a lot to women who were having women that, who cares what people say, and it's a great song. It's got a great message. My number 2 is "Beautiful." No, I didn't put the rabbit out. Damn it!
I'm gonna have to listen to that one because I probably heard it, but I'm not sure if I really listened to it. My number 2, but you did pull a rabbit out of hat at number 5. Lady Marmalade was definitely one of the songs I would put up there because the collaboration with everybody on that song was just amazing. And then I think, if I recall, I haven't heard it in a while. She carries a note there for a while.
Yeah.
So that just shows you the lung capacity.
Right.
So, all right, number 1.
So I'm going to say this, and I think this is the first time we've ever said this for a viewer. It's not C2C unless you're sniping. My number one is Randy Cox's number 2, "Genie in a Bottle."
Yep. And that is also my number 1 is "Genie in a Bottle." That's the first song that I think that was her first hit, I think.
Yeah.
When she came after Mickey Mouse Club, and her and Britney had those battles those types of songs. So yeah, Genie in a Bottle, definitely my number one. But like you said, I think you're right. I think that's the first time that viewer, especially Randy, being the first to snipe us. So all right, so we did 4 out of 5. I could have put that one that you had in there, definitely in there. Like I said, we could have done 10 on her.
Oh yeah.
So all right, let's move over to the great Garth Brooks.
Oh, this we could have did 20 on this one.
Oh yeah, we could have done this and not even touched his Chris Gaines music.
I touched. I'll tell you right now, I touched. I think I touched. Yeah, no, I didn't touch. No, I didn't touch Chris Gaines.
Yeah, there was a couple songs. I do have a CD, and there was a couple I liked on that CD. But
I remember they came out with a box set. I had the box set, and the funny thing is one of the songs
had like 3 box sets. I got 2 of them.
This is the black one, the one that had the CDs in it that had extra tracks on the hidden tracks that nobody knew were there.
Yep. Yeah. So again, this could be. I mean, honestly, Garth could probably be the one that we go 0 for on because there's so many to pick for. I don't think we will, but
we won't. I think we get 3.
Okay, I'll go 3 because the first one on his Man Against the Machine CD, I love the song and I play it pretty much for every person I know on Facebook that's having their first child, and that's the song "Mom."
Yep, don't have it. We're not going 5.
No, I didn't think we'd go 5, but yeah. All right, you're number 5.
My number 5. The funny thing is the only reason why I bring up this box set is because this was one of those that were on the.
Yes, Randy. 5 for Garth Brooks is going to be tough.
I could have done 20 and still had some left over. But my number 5 is actually one of those songs that was not originally released on the original album. It was one of the songs that was added to the greatest hits box set, which has actually been covered again, which was actually covered by Adele. First time I heard this song, I absolutely connected with this song. To me, it's one of my favorites. That's make You Feel My Love.
Oh, okay. I'll go listen to that. I do have that box set, so I'll have to go check that song out. My number 4, to me, holds somewhat of a special meaning because it's one of the last songs I did when I was in high school in choir. So that part holds, but again, it's one of those songs that you just hear, you just kind of sit back and think and think about memories, and that's The Dance. All right, you're number 4.
My number 4. That was your what? Number 5.
4.
Oh, that was your number 4.
Start. Yep.
Great start. A beautiful start. So good at the start that my number 4 is your number 4.
All right, finally got my second one.
I heard that song. It's one of those, and the funny thing is, he hits that last note that he hits when he sings. It's a flat. It's a flat note too, and it's an unexpected half step down, and it's not, and it's like wow, it's like wasn't really expecting this.
Yeah, so Randy's top 5, and we appreciate Randy taking the time out of his busy day to brush his hair. Standing Outside the Fire, Burning Bridges, Much Too Young, Rodeo, and Thunder Roads. I have one of those.
I have one of those as well.
So, all right. So with that being said, my number 3. To me, it's one of those songs, you see it live. I got to see him twice here in Minnesota live, and the guy just puts on a great show. And, for his age, and when he came back and did those 13 shows in 6 days in Minnesota here a few years ago, I don't know how I would have liked to know how much weight he lost because he was all over the stage. But he really gets into it. This song, Calling Baton Rouge.
I like that song. It's a really, really good song.
All right, you're number 3.
Well, I'm gonna snipe Randy Cox at this point.
Okay.
It's one of those. It's hilarious when you think about it. It's a song about cheating, about a husband cheating on a wife, and I think it's crazy. But my number 3 is Randy's number 1, Thunder Rolls.
Oh, really? I guess I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that. I guess I really did put that together as a cheating. I guess I'll have to go back and really kind of listen to that. So we're on number 2. So just like you sniping Randy with his number 1, you sniped me at number 3 with my number 2, Thunder Rose. I just love that. I just love the beginning of that where they just had the thunder and stuff and the rumbling. You know, that just it kind of gives me goosebumps every once in a while. I hear that. So you're number 2.
My number 2, it hasn't been thrown up there yet. But I hear this song, and it's one of those songs that it was like I had to sit there and look at the lists and go, because I'll be honest, I had to look at the list and it's strange because all 5 of mine were like the first things that I looked at. But my number 2 is Shameless.
Yeah, I like Shameless. That is a good one. Yeah, like we said, I mean, we already put out there. We could have did 20 and probably would have got less than half right on sniping. But my number 1, again, you know, everybody kind of says this in a different way. You know, I guess you're in trouble or you're trying to get a favor. But for me, friends in low places. It's always good to know friends in low places. That's my number 1.
Here's the funny thing is I have to double check because I saw this. The weird thing is somebody was performing Friends in Low Places, and it wasn't Garth.
Timberlake.
It was Timberlake, right?
Yep.
It wasn't, and it was Timberlake. And halfway through the song, Garth Brooks comes up, and you know what Garth Brooks said? It's not C2C unless we're sniping because your number 1 is my number 1.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And I gotta say, and I know Justin was only covering it, because they do. I didn't like that cover. I didn't like him singing it. I don't know what it was.
And I like it with the added. I like it with the third verse.
Yeah. Yep. So
yeah, I'm not a fan of. I didn't hear it, but I'm thinking every time I hear like somebody not covering it, and especially somebody that's not inside country music not covering it. I'm okay with Adele covering "Make You Feel My Love," but
yeah.
It's the country voice.
If you can cover it right, to me, Justin just wasn't country-ish. I guess. I think he tried to make it too pop, but then Garth came out, and then it was a kind of cool collaboration. I mean, to see Garth out there. So, all right, so let's get into our group, Alabama. So this one again, we could have done 10, 15, 20, and probably still wouldn't have sniped each other that much. So this will be a pretty interesting one because I know we're not going to go 5 for 5 because I think I have a song here as a sleeper on this one. So
yeah,
but I think we'll get 3.
Here's the funny story. The funny story about Alabama. Randy Owens lives in High Springs, Florida.
Okay.
He lives right across the street from his mother. He bought his mom a farm in High Springs.
Okay.
Little known fact is, and my brother will tell you this, my brother lived 100 yards away from Randy Owens.
Nice.
So my brother could tell you, I've been by the house, I've been by everything. Big yard, big
Yeah,
farm.
Randy. The third verse of Friends in Little Places is good. Yep. So,
But yeah,
all right. So how many do you think we're getting on this one here? I say 3.
3. Oh,
I know it's gonna be tough.
I have a low key curveball. God,
Could we both have the same low key curveball?
I've got. I can see through. I can. Oh man. I'm gonna say 2.
Okay. All right. Well, let's kick it off then.
Again, this is Alabama, and
It is Alabama. Yes.
it's funny because and the reason why I took my number 5 song, and it might when I was growing up, my next door neighbors had a country band, which is funny because the name of their country band was called Night Train, which is, if you know anything about my family, I have an uncle who plays country music.
Yep.
And their band name is also the Night Train Band. But they would practice in their garage. So we'd always listen to the neighbors always play, and for some, it was either the Gatlin brothers, or they were either Larry Gatlin and the Gatlin brothers,
Yep.
or they were playing Alabama. And the funny thing is, I never heard a fiddle in their band, but they sure did. They sure did play that song a lot. And I don't know if any one of the Morin boys had a fiddle. I'm gonna have to talk to them. And then we didn't live in Texas; we lived in Wisconsin, so it was even weirder. My number 5 is if you're gonna play in Texas.
Yep, I do like that song. So my curveball sleeper for this Alabama is a personal favorite of mine because, as most of you guys know, I'm a big baseball guy, and I just love this song. And the song's called Cheap Seats.
That wasn't
Yes,
my
I love that song is probably one of my top favorite sports songs, related songs, I guess we could say. So you're number 4.
That's okay. All right, cool. Again, I brought up earlier when we were talking about country and Alan Jackson and Gone Country. And it was funny because I was with the school dances, and they always, dude, you were probably a better DJ than who was DJing our school dances, but that's fine. But that's fine, and it's great. And the thing is, he and I would go out and we would, dance it up, and they always seemed to play this song, and it was always, it was so much fun. My number 4 is Mountain Music.
Okay. No, that was a good one. So, we're not C2C unless we're sniping. You got me with your number 5. If you're going to be in Texas, you got to have fiddle in the band. That definitely is, a staple to especially a lot of people that cover, like you said, they cover country music. Somehow they learn that song to play. So, your number 3. And
my number 3,
and we got Randy's list here. I'm in a hurry. Angels Among Us. The closer you get, my home's in Alabama. And
my homies are in Alabama. Yep, yeah. My homies
are in Alabama. And Down Home. So
I have one of those.
I do too. So all right, you're number 3.
My number 3. Again, I think I've said this. I've said this about a lot of songs I've said today already. But it's a good. This is one of those songs that I listened to when I was going to family outings, and somehow this song always seemed to be the first song that shows up on the radio when we left, and that's High Cotton.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, you got that one. That's definitely not one I haven't heard that one. So, my number 3. Again, I hear it here and there, and for some reason, every time I hear the song, it's like, oh my god, I didn't know Alabama sang this song. And that's Tennessee River.
I like Tennessee River. Tennessee
You're
River.
number 2.
Well, for the second for the second time in this episode, Mr. Dragon Viper has sniped me at his number 4. The first time I heard this song, you get those songs that break you down, that break you down and brings you down to your smallest, littlest emotional self. Sound of Silence by Disturbed does that to me. But the first time, Willie Nelson's Angels Flying Too Close to the Ground, another one that breaks you right down to your lowest denominator. The first time I heard Angels Among Us, I thought this should be a song that should be played at baptisms. I think this should be songs that should be played at births. I think this should be a song that should be played at funerals. I think there's not a perfect song, but this is near close.
Yep. I totally get you on that one. So my number 2, you're on a roll today and you're trying to go solo. So my number 2 is your number 4, music, Mountain Music. I love that song. So your number 1. I'm kind of curious where we're at.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Well, your curveball wasn't that big of a curveball.
You went number 1 with it?
It's not C2C unless you're sniping.
Wow.
My number 1 is your number 5. I hear Cheap Seats and I'm ready for baseball. I'm ready for everything. I think truthfully baseball should be I think Cheap Seats should be the national anthem of baseball.
Period. Wow. I agree with you on that. I even like Major League 3 just because it has the movie. Yep. I mean, I like Major League 3, but at the beginning they have Cheap Seats in there. Wow. I really thought I had that curveball there, but sniped you early on that one. But anyways, my number 1, again, you're on a roll. My number 1 is Angels Among Us. I love that song. Like you said, it breaks you down, gets you thinking. And like you said, too, and I can agree, this is probably the closest perfect song to a funeral or even a birth if people play music at a birth. This would be the perfect song to play. So that definitely is a great song. So before we get into our last category that we put in there because of the passing of Toby Keith, let's get into another category here. We have fictional singers or groups that we would like to see perform. I guess. So this one, I would be shocked if we get a couple of these because it depends on, this could be from TV shows, movies. I actually left one out that I just thought of, and I was thinking about it before, and then I didn't think about it. But so, all right. So I will start. Tim, we're wrestling fans. Randy's wrestling fans. I would love to see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson put on a concert.
Oh my gosh! Here's the sad thing. When you brought it up, and I'll be honest, and now I just thought of one too, and this is so terrible. I didn't think I should have wrote these down when I was thinking about them because I know
there's a couple that pop out of my head here and there.
But the moment you said The Rock, I went, oh dear Jesus, how did I miss Jesse James, the Road Dogg? I would have. I missed him.
I didn't even think about him.
Oh wow!
Well, yes, I would love to see The Rock put on a little concert of all the.
Now, honestly, I want to go to a Walk with Elias concert.
We could do a trio of Rock, Road Dogg, and Elias all together.
And Jeff Jarrett opens.
Yeah.
Wow. Holy
all right,
smokes.
you're number 5.
My number 5. Tom Hanks was a movie producer. And one of his
I missed them.
one of the movies that he did was that thing you do. And Steve Zahn is absolutely funny as hell in that movie. But the first time I heard that, watched that movie and heard the songs in there, I'm going, God, I would have loved to have been there during the '60s to get to see these guys go to do the tour of the country for Playtone Records. My number 5 is The Wonders.
God dang it. I knew I was going to miss somebody. And I love that movie too so much. So my number 4, I got 2. Actually, one for some reason yesterday on the way home I played the song from this movie, and my one is a solo artist, the other one's a group. I put them together. My solo artist is Eddie from Family Matters. He did a couple episodes where he wanted to be a singer.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was dubbed, but the voice sounded cool. My second part of my number 4, Revenge of the Nerds, the second one when they did No on 15.
Yeah.
I was listening to that one yesterday. I'm like, oh, I got to add this one on there. So that would be cool if they got a little, 3-4 sets in.
I forgot about Revenge of the Nerds. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think if we get one at this point, we are absolutely going to be at this point. It's like swinging at a baseball in the dark.
Yep. Your number 4.
My number 4 is based on a band that they did 3 movies about. Technically, basically they're the band that basically creates world peace in the future. But everybody remembers it as like, and it's the movie that really punched the number 69 in for some reason. But
Randy, I got nothing. Tell us something we don't know, Randy.
But I share a birthday with one of the actors, Mr. Alex Winter. But everybody knows his more famous partner in Keanu Reeves. My number 4 is from Bill and Ted, Wild Stallions.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Guys, I didn't, to me, I know they did that, but to me, it did jump out at me because now that you said it does, but it's like when I think of that movie, I don't think of the music part of it, but that's what they're doing. They're trying to be a music, but they had to do a project. Oh, and I think the second one, did they have the band or something?
Yeah, they had the band in the first one. But you see the band in the second one.
More,
and then you see a little bit in the third one.
No, yes, I didn't see the third one.
There's a third one.
You threw me off when you said 3, and then you said Bill and Ted. I'm like, oh, that's right. All right, so my number 3. I'm sorry, we're jumping all the way up to 1, but no, my number 3. He's more he's more known for his recent movies in the Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff but I like this guy Johnny Depp in the movie Cry Baby. I would like to see that group perform. I was trying to think of their name, but I don't think they really had a name for the group.
They were called the Cry Babies.
Was it called the Cry Babies? Okay,
Cry Babies.
I couldn't find it, but yeah, Johnny Depp and Hatchet Face and those guys performed. That was really cool.
The entire time I'm sitting here going, okay, I know Johnny Depp did a movie. I know Johnny Depp did a movie where he sang. Yeah, he did Sweeney Todd, but he didn't have a band in that one. And I'm thinking he tours around with the Hollywood Vampires with Joe Perry and Alice Cooper. So he already tours. He toured here not too long ago, about sometime right after the Amber Heard trial. And I'm thinking, I know Johnny Depp was in a movie with a rock band. How did I end? And then you bring up Crybaby, and I
Oh.
forgot.
So Randy brings up two. Will Ferrell and John Riley and Step Brothers. That was a good one when they sang on the boat and crashed the boat. That was a good one. And Garth and Wentz from Wayne's World.
Oh my gosh, I forgot those two too.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's a good one, Randy. I like those. So, all right. So you're number 3.
All right, my number 3, and the thing is, I could put my number 1, 3, and 4 all in the same on the same tour, and I'd be happy, absolutely happy. My number 3, they made a documentary about, which they actually call a mockumentary because this band does not exist. Which is hilarious because I think if I'm not mistaken, they may have actually put some music out. My number 3 is Spinal Tap from This Is Spinal Tap.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think if we get one, I'll be surprised. My number 2
Here it
was
comes.
a TV show in the 90s, high school TV show. And it was about a group friends that would perform in their little diner nightly or weekly or whatever. They had a little road manager. What the heck was his name now?
Who the hell is
What was the manager's name?
Don't ask me. I don't know.
I can't think of the manager's name. It'll come to me. But California Dreams.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about them. I can't remember this. I can't remember the managers. Don't feel bad.
Oh, what the heck is his name? California Dreams. I can see. I can picture them saying his name. I'll look it up. But anyways, you're number 2.
My number 2, probably one of the most forgotten bands in movie history, to me specifically. And they're only in one movie out of the 3. And they performed at a dance, the Under the Sea dance.
Sly. Sylvester was his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they performed at a dance. Actually, I think they show up twice, but I think it's because it's archival footage of another movie, of the same movie, but in a and one of their lead singer calls his cousin Chuck. My number 2 is from Back to the Future, Marvin Berry and the Starlighters.
Oh, you went that way with Back to the Future.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go with Michael J. Fox and whatever his group was called. But yeah.
I couldn't tell you what his group was called.
What was his group called? I don't know.
I don't know.
So we're at number 1. So my number 1, another TV show I grew up watching, and I know we brought this show up quite a few times.
Yeah.
In different stuff.
But that's what I'm thinking it is, yeah.
Yeah. And actually they actually technically had a couple different groups that they could have done. They did a girls group, what was Hot Sunday, I believe, with Kelly and
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. I was thinking of that group.
Yep. And then they did one when they had Tori on there called The Four Aces. But I would like to see the Zack Attack perform.
I don't have that one. I don't have that one.
The last group was say about Hot Sunday. Well, of course, Randy would say Hot Sunday.
All right, my number
anyway,
1.
so you're number 1. So we go 0 for 5.
We're gonna go over, which is funny because the guy that I
sniping anybody.
No, we're not sniping. We're not sniping crap at this point. The guy is it's about a band, and it is a band. It's amazing. I love this movie. The first time I saw this movie, I'm like, and then it kind of grows on you. And I absolutely love this movie. It takes place during about the height of the hair band days, but back in the late 80s, early 90s. But the lead singer, the main character, was much more known for rap in the 90s. But it's also, which is really funny because he was actually the person who was supposed to be in another band with his brother.
Okay.
But because of him getting into criminal trouble, doesn't go to that band, and that spot goes to Joey McIntyre. So now you've got Joey McIntyre and New Kids on the Block, and then you've got Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. So Mark Wahlberg did this movie called Rockstar.
Oh,
And
I know it's funny. Yep.
And the band and I love this song. And he hits this note in the movie that is absolutely fascinating. And it stands the hair up on my arms every time I hear it. But my number one is Steel Dragon.
Yeah, once you said because you're losing me, and then you said McIntyre went to New Kids on Black. I knew where you're going with that one. That was a good one. Another one too that I was thought about putting on my list was when the Simpsons did the boy band with
yeah
with Bart and them guys.
Oh no, I don't know. Or the one I just thought of right now is the one from South Park called Finger Bang.
Yeah. Yeah. And then actually Randy brought up Step Brothers. What about when he played Dewey
Dewey Cox.
Yeah.
When he
that
played
was
Dewey
good.
Cox.
The Elvis spoof or whatever, Johnny Cash spoof.
Johnny Cash spoof.
Yeah.
So, I love that.
All right. So typically we close the show with a list we find online, but today we're going to close out with the top 5 songs for one Mr. Toby Keith because of course, the news we heard today, the passing of him. To me, it's tough. I still don't know how to digest it. I knew he had cancer. I guess, don't know how serious it was, but I guess we now know how serious it was. So, rest in peace, Toby Keith. So, Tim, let's start off with your number 5.
Okay, I have to ask, how many do you think at this point this could be?
Well, I got doubled up on one, so we could do our unusual 6 for 5, but
no,
I don't think we will. I don't think we will.
I'm not doubled up on anything. So,
I could see 2, solid 2.
I'll give you. I don't know if I have a curveball. That's the problem. Yeah, I'll go 3.
Okay. All right. Yes, Randy, losing Toby today was, like I said, I woke up to the news. So, all right. So kick it off.
All right. So, he did this song where everybody had, they had their place to go, and they always ran to. We always made this thing, and that's where
that's gonna be a concert that I wish I would have gone to.
Yeah.
Would have been Toby Keith, yes.
But it's I don't know how many times I've said it, and it's amazing. And then Toby Keith comes out with a song that says exactly that. My number 5 is "I Love This Bar."
Yep. That's a good one. I do like that. Like I said, this could have been a list we could have done easy 10 on, and my number 5, I think it's kind of a saying now that, and I think it was a saying before we all heard the song, we kind of, jokingly around saying it, but my number 5 is "Who's Your Daddy?" So Randy's got his 5. Let's see how well we'll match up against Randy. "Get Drunk and Be Somebody," Red Solo Cup, "Should Have Been a Cowboy," "I Love This Bar," I wish I would have known now. I got 1.
I've got
I got
2.
1 in that group.
I've got 2.
He said that Uncle raised bar a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
You got 2. All right.
Said that about.
All right. So you're number 4.
My number 4. Let's see if he's got me sniped. Nope, he doesn't. Okay, cool. And the funny thing is, this song has got the title of that rings true for all of us who were in our 20s who thought we were invincible, and then all of a sudden we hit our 40s, and then all of a sudden this song becomes perfect. And then you listen to the song, it's like, oh yeah, I give a good, but I may not come out of here. I'm not taking 3. I'll take 1.
Nope.
My number 4 is "Good as I Once Was."
Yep. Yeah, that you're right. That one definitely hits home, because you think back, like, God, yeah, back then I thought I was a king. Now, yeah. My number 4, kind of along the same lines as that. I think a lot of us, especially the guys, and try to get the girl and get turned down, and then it's like, God, I wish I was famous. I go back to a class reunion and be that person that you want me to be, but I don't want you now, or whatever. But how do you like me now?
Yeah.
I get that. It's just like, God, I wish I could have, that fits true to a lot of guys. So your number where are we at? 3 for you? You started here.
My number 3 is a duet. I one of those songs that I like. I love and think that he did this song with Willie Nelson it's absolutely amazing. I love it. And my number 3, again, like I said, is with Willie Nelson, "Beer for My Horses."
Yep. All right. My number 3 and Randy's number 4. I will be polite enough to give Randy a snipe on that one. Red Solo Cup. My wife hates that song. But yeah, I think I might just go out and buy a couple of Red Solo Cups laying around the house for her today. So my number 3, Red Solo Cup. Your number 2.
My number 2, this is the 3rd time that Randy has sniped me at a spot.
All right, so we'll give Randy another nice snipe here.
I think I don't think which I think is funny, because he wasn't a Cowboy. He was a San Diego Charger. And no, he didn't write this song for crispy bacon. My number 2 is Randy's number 3. Should have been a Cowboy.
Yep. No, that's a good one. My number 2, I doubled up on because I do like them both, and it's just hard to keep songs off. So one is American Soldier. The second one is courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue.
Yeah, that's good.
So you're number 2. You're number 1.
My number 1. Eric's gonna disagree with me that he's gonna that I like to sing karaoke. I absolutely hate
You disagree
it.
that you like singing karaoke?
That he's gonna he's gonna disagree that I. No, he might agree that I don't like singing karaoke. Hate it, absolutely hate it. And the funny thing is, the first song that I ever sang in karaoke was in 1998. And it happened to be Toby Keith. And it's strange. And I absolutely love the song. I know this song word for word. I know the regular tune. I know the harmony. I know it backwards and forwards. Absolutely love this song. I think this song was perfect for Toby Keith. My number 1 is "Does That Blue Moon Ever Shine on You?"
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that one. My number 1, and for some reason, this is one of, well, obviously it's one of my favorite Toby Keith songs because it's number 1. And maybe it's just because of the, kind of the life I grew up, childhood, but Who's That Man? You got the dad driving up and down the street looking out over his kids, and and stuff like that. I don't know. I just every time I hear that song, I just got it. But Eric is writing in. You may not like to see karaoke, but you do an awesome job at it. So, all right. Well, maybe we need to get Tim and Mess around to do a New Year's karaoke special or something. So
you have to
Grandpa's favorite song.
think about it.
Actually played it at my wedding for him with them.
But here's the funny thing is the New Year's. If we have a New Year's, I have to wake up at if it's for your New Year's, I have to wake up at 7. If it's for Messround's New Year's, I have to start. If before your midnight, I have to start at like 6. If it's Messaround's New Year's and everybody else on the West Coast, I have to wake up at 7. 8 yeah. Because their midnight is my 9, your midnight is my 7, and yeah.
No. So, all right. So that's our list. It was a good one. I like doing these music ones. So, Tim, your final thoughts?
I don't think we were for me, I wasn't expecting you hitting the fields a couple times there. I wasn't really expecting that, but I love these things. These things are crazy. I've got two words, and they both start with the letter D, and it's not a bra size. I don't do this on camera. I usually do this in the comments, but Dirty Dom.
One for Randy Cox there. So, with that being said, just keep checking us out. Today's Tuesday, so Between the Ropes is on. We'll give the latest on what's going on in the wrestling world. Tomorrow's Sports Minute. Press Row came on yesterday. I heard it was a good one.
I was thinking, when you guys do Kicking It with Isaiah, you should have him. I know. I listened to for the Bro Code this morning,
yeah.
And they talk about things you got to do. If you really need to have him explain what Dirty Dom is, just go for it.
Okay, so all right, and then speaking of Kicking It, that's Thursday night, Creeping the Real Thursday night. Super Bowl coverage for morning tailgate this week. We'll break down the game.
I don't know what time we're having that.
Yeah, I don't know either. So
that's a 6 o'clock game, and probably.
Well, we'll probably. I mean, we can still do it early. I mean, but we'll see what time. I'll just keep checking us out. But with that being said, hopefully the Immaculate Grid game comes back. I know the host Callan's been kind of busy, so hopefully
they had it this morning. They had it today. They had it last night.
Oh, they did have it last night?
They did have it last night.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's my morning, so of course I say that they had it this morning.
So with that being said, again, check us out next Tuesday / Wednesday. Kind of a last minute thing depending on my schedule, but keep checking us out. And we'll see you next time on C2C Rankem. Have a good one.